Hi guys. If you are here, then I am gonna hedge a bet that you are an author and you're looking to learn some more about SEO. Well, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So, first of all, who am I? Why should you care what I have to say about SEO for authors? Well, let me tell you. My day job is in marketing in the tech industry. For SEO purposes, I am in a very niche category, and not only is it niche, but there are some very big competitors out there. Think like massive global companies. It's extremely competitive. So when I tell you that our company had reached out to marketing agencies before I started doing the SEO, and there were legit marketing agencies that were like, we don't know if we can take you on because we don't want to spoil our success metrics. I have a level of success in quite a difficult industry. And that, let me be clear, is not with years of marketing experience. I started marketing in, 2022 maybe? Something like that. So you can do it too. And I'm going to teach you how. That's the important part. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do in a way that is simple and easy to understand, because a lot of the information I had tried to ingest was difficult or not really detailed enough to actually use. So we're going to get to it. I do have proven SEO results, so I'm going to share those on my screen. Things like the blog that I started at work. I write all of the blog content and I do all of the planning for that. It went from, basically we were getting 0 views on the website. My company had been around 2 years before I started doing the marketing for it, and it did take a while, but currently we get around 2,000 visitors to the website every month. Consistently. There's been a consistent trend where it has increased. I can show you the sort of sanitized metrics of visitors to the website because there's nothing there to give away who I work for. I've had number 1 spots, number 2 spots, number 3 spots, AI snippets, questions frequently asked. I've also had some things ranking for number 2 and number 3 at the same time. And that's on a couple of different search engines, both Bing and Google for work. So I can't show you those, obviously, without doxing myself. So I will show you what I've done for my own website, my author website, which is nellymonroe.com. I haven't really put a whole lot of effort into the blog just yet. Anyone who follows me knows that I've just recently done the Story Grid 6-week scene writing workshop, and that took up quite a bit of my time. If you want to have a look and see what that entailed, I will link the video up above. For Nelly Monroe, I'm going to share a screen grab here. Each search engine or platform has its own algorithm, much the same way that YouTube has an algorithm. On Bing, you can see here for the best equal horror books, I believe it is. I'm saying this off the top of my head and I'll grab the screen recording later. Rank pretty high on that page. So that one was obviously targeting readers, and then a different one that are used to target fellow authors who are maybe looking for some advice. You can see that I rank near the bottom for this one. Okay. Now that I've hopefully proven to you guys that I'm worth listening to when it comes to information about SEO, let's get into some of the basics. I want to cover just a couple of things in the introduction video. So first of all, what even is SEO? What does it mean? It stands for Search Engine Optimization. There is a new term that is floating around, generative engine optimization. I know that obviously as writers, we are not exactly in love with AI. Unfortunately for us, some of our readers probably do use it. Where search engine optimization is looking to optimize your content for Google and Bing, generative engine optimization is looking to make your results findable for searches on ChatGPT, that kind of thing, as well as like the AI snippets that you see on Google quite a lot now. It is unfortunate, but we cannot decide for our readers where they are searching for us from. And unfortunately, on places like Google, the number 1 spot has now been replaced by an AI snippet. So the next thing I want you to understand is why, as an author, you should care about SEO. And really the main reason is long-term visibility. If you are putting things up on Facebook or Instagram, your posts might get a good reaction to begin with. You might get some chatter on the comments, you might get a handful of likes, and that's great, but it doesn't tend to be evergreen. It doesn't tend to last for very long. Start to see a dip in the numbers as time goes on. Whereas with SEO, if you have something optimized well, you could see results from that for a very long time. And even with my blog, I find that some of the posts I did a year or two ago are still getting me traffic to this day. So it is really important to get that long-term visibility. Even if you aren't able to post on your socials for a while, your website is still going to be doing that hard work for you in the background and getting you traffic and getting your name out there. One caveat is that my friend Sarita, I'll tag her channel in the comments below. She is a fellow author and marketer, and she has discovered recently that Instagram posts are actually being indexed by Google now, which they never used to be. So I don't know too much information about that. I will try and do a little bit of research, and if I find out anything useful for you guys about that, then I will add it to the end of this series in its own little video. So far, I don't use Instagram for work, so I haven't come across that yet. I tend to do more LinkedIn and that kind of social media. So I do want to set some realistic expectations, and that is that SEO takes a long time. It will take months for you to start to see a nice build up in traffic, and it can potentially take up to a year. It really depends on what you're targeting, who you're targeting, what the traffic is like. There's a lot of variables, but it does take a while. It is kind of like YouTube. Some people will get a viral video that will do really well and they'll get a bunch of followers that way. But for most people, they just have to keep trucking along and being consistent. And as much as we all hate that word consistency, it really is what makes all of the difference. Another expectation to set is that even if you do manage to get your webpage to rank on page 1 of Google or Bing, that in itself does not guarantee traffic. And Nelly, what the hell are you talking about? Well, it used to be, before all of the AI, if you got the number 1 placement right at the top of the page on Google, you would get the lion's share of the traffic from that. The vast majority, I think it was something like 60% of traffic would go to the number 1 item in the search. And then it drops off really, really steeply after that, maybe only 20% to position 2, 10% to position 3, and so on until it drops off to basically nothing near the bottom of the first page. Anything beyond the first page is basically invisible. Even if you get onto page 2, it's unlikely anyone's going to click through to your website. There have been changes to SEO, and the number 1 spot on Google isn't quite as meaningful as it used to be. So now we're seeing AI snippets showing above the number 1 spot on Google, and this is quite an upheaval in the marketing world. It's all new and different, and it does tend to get most of the traffic before the nicely optimized content that is at number 1 position. And that is why it is so important for us when we are going through SEO that we are conscientious of what we need to do to place with GEO. And honestly, there's a few tips and tricks that I have for optimizing your content so that you're more likely to be found in those places too. They don't really require a whole lot of extra effort, and they're probably just good practices to have anyway. So we'll get to those in a later video. Okay. So SEO, think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. You really do want to be building it up gradually and not trying to rush it. One of the things that's important to note is that in recent times, Google has changed some of its policies. We all have probably heard the term content is king. And for social media, I would absolutely agree with that. The more that you are posting, the more your findability is going to go up, the more likely someone's going to find your content and follow you. However, your website, content is king to an extent. There are policies in place with Google now where if you are deemed as spam if you are chucking out a whole load of content constantly, especially if it suspects that content has AI usage. If you're putting out a lot of garbage into the internet, basically they are not going to rank your website. They want to see real useful content, and just pumping out stuff constantly is not going to get you anywhere, and it's probably going to get you in trouble with Mr. Google. So please don't do that. Another basic thing to think about before we get on to the next video is I really want you to decide who you're targeting. Just like you want to know your genre for your book and who your potential readers might be, same for your website, right? Like you want to know who you want to direct to your website. On nelliemonroe.com, I have a section where I upload my YouTube videos along with some blog content, and those are more targeted at fellow authors, sharing any advice that I have that might help someone else. But I also have a section for readers because I want to attract some readers to know who I am and my book. So it's okay to have more than one person that you want to get to your website. Just make sure that you're creating different content for each of them. We need to be intentional about what we're putting out there and who we're trying to get. You'll learn more about that as we go. Ultimately, what will this series teach you? We're going to lean into keyword research pretty heavily. Keyword research is possibly the most important thing that I'll be able to tell you about SEO. Without it, you are basically fishing for a needle in a haystack. Keyword research is what is going to make or break your SEO strategy. Any successful blog that you go to, none of those blog posts are written because the person just had to get out their system. They have all been planned and curated very specifically. Any successful blog, I promise you, they are curating their content. They are not writing anything down for a blog unless they have a specific keyword in mind that they are targeting with a whole lot of data to back it up. So that's something to bear in mind. Just pumping out a lot of content without any real understanding of what you're doing or why is not a recipe for success. So we'll go into keyword research really deeply. Another thing that I'm going to show you guys in this is how to optimize your posts. This is going to be super, super important for trying to rank on search engines. There's a whole checklist of different things that you need to do to appease Mr. Google. Finally, another thing I'm going to talk to you about are tools for SEO. There's a lot of them out there. Some of them will help you immensely, but they're not all super necessary. Certainly tools can make your life easier and faster. I'll talk about some of my favorite tools for SEO as well as some alternatives that you can use if you don't want to pay for tools. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and please do like and subscribe. I know that most of the people that view my videos are not actually subscribers yet, so come out of hiding, come say hello, subscribe, and that way you'll be notified when the rest of this series drops. I hope that you guys like this content. I know a few people had been asking for it. I'm super excited to let you guys learn about SEO with me. I will see you. I believe the next video will come out either in 1 or 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes to film. If you have any specific questions that you want me to cover in the next video, please drop them below and I will answer them in the next one. Alright guys, take care and I will see you for some more SEO soon. Bye.